could not be in this situation anymore. It was killing me. It was going to fucking kill me. Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I've been trying to post and upload IGTV videos for everybody. The most common message I get on Instagram is always, can you make more YouTube videos? And honestly, I just get really lazy. And for that I apologize, because I know that I have something good to say, and I want to keep it going. Just bear with me, everybody. So with that said, I feel like you guys have kind of watched me grow up in a way on here. If you've watched all my videos, they start from 2012. There's a lot of time in that. In 2012, when I started my YouTube channel, it was so young empaths knew that they weren't alone, and I was in the abusive relationship because it was something I always wanted to do. I always wanted to create this content, and I always wanted the YouTube channel, and I always wanted people to know that they weren't alone the way that I always felt like I was alone. But he was encouraging it, but then also making fun of me, like, to my face about the things I was saying. So it really just makes sense, the amount of people I've helped, the videos that you've seen me go through, the phases I've been through in the healing from the sociopath narcissist, and all that I have like attained in terms of healing to make an up-to-date one. In the middle of the relationship with this person, I knew that something was off, but I didn't ever think that I would actually leave because they move so quick. So I got engaged really quick. And to me, it was, oh, well, he must truly definitely love me if he's doing this so quickly. And he's so loving and so attentive and so inquisitive and always saying I would never cheat on you, and he was just super insecure all the time. And you know, to me as a young girl, I thought that that was just a guy that had been through some stuff, that, you know, was taking things out on me, and that was the codependent in me that wanted to heal and save even though I knew it was wrong. I want every person watching this to know that it's not anything you did. These people just target really fucking good people. People that have giant hearts. People that want to save people. People that want to be there for others the way that others weren't there for them. So these people are monsters. I had figured out what was going on. I went out one night with my really good friend, and we went to go get dinner. I was never really allowed out of the house. I was never really allowed to be around friends. I was never really allowed to have a life. And, you know, at 24, 25 years old, like, to not be able to have a life, living in Philadelphia, like, that was really hard. So I was able to convince him to let me go get dinner with one of my friends. And he was like, yeah. It'll be fun. Go have girl time. You never get to do that. And then, like, I'm halfway through dinner, and my phone just starts ringing, and it's just text after text after text, and it's just, you're such a selfish person. I can't believe you didn't invite me with you. We've been traveling so much, and I've been working so much, and I can't believe that you would leave me like this. I don't want to ruin your night. And right then and there, I knew that's exactly what it was. This was somebody trying to ruin my night. Like, my blinders came so off, like, I couldn't even try to make an excuse. I couldn't. There was no excuse I could make anymore. This was somebody that was methodically doing things. Because before I left the house, like, I knew I made excuses for him, and he made me a little insane, but I was sane enough to know that before I left the house, he told me to have fun. And then halfway through that dinner, that's what I was getting. I looked at my friend, and she completely agreed with me. She was like, Al, this is not normal. And I was like, I don't know what to do. But I knew I stood up for myself, which is, if you stood up for yourself with a sociopath, you know that nothing good is going to come from it. They get verbally abusive, highly manipulative, physically abusive, physically manipulative, sexually abusive, sexually manipulative. You're not allowed to stand up for yourself. So that night, I'm sitting with Steph, and I was just, she looked at me and she was just like, Al, you don't look good. You don't look good. And I was like, I know, because I'm constantly like, I always have anxiety. I always feel like something I'm doing is wrong. I never feel comfortable. And we started looking at pictures of me, and I looked at a picture of me the day before I flew down to go see this person. And then I started looking at pictures of me during the situation, and my eyes were dead inside. I didn't even look like myself anymore. I looked like a fake version of myself, and it was the saddest thing I had ever seen. And from there, I realized I had to get out of it. I knew that I couldn't stay like this anymore. I knew that despite what I had been through in my life, I knew I loved myself enough that even if I didn't know how to leave him, I was gonna have to force myself, because I knew that it was abusive. I knew that it was wrong. I knew there was a lot of lying. I knew there was manipulation, but they have you so hooked that you're like, I don't know how to live without them. So you'd rather live comfortably being abused than learn how to get out of it, because they create all these power dynamics over you. They teach you how to, they'll blame you for something, and then you need to come and rescue them. You know you didn't do anything wrong, but for some reason, because they have gaslighted you so many times and they love bomb you, you're just looking for the person you initially fell in love with. Even when you know that there's something wrong, even when you know you're in an abusive situation, you make every excuse you can, because it's more comfortable to stay in that abuse, which probably feels a little bit like something you experienced in childhood, than it is to actually get out of it. So that night I decided I had to leave. I could not be in this situation anymore. It was killing me. It was going to fucking kill me. I am a 5'2" girl. I think I weighed 95 pounds, and I was accused of getting fat. So with that, me knowing that I was getting out, I knew that there had been a lot of tension, and especially after like texts like that or whatever. And so what happens is they start to punish you when you stand up for yourself in any form, and you know when it's coming. You know they're doing this because you stood up for yourself. They're teaching you you're not allowed to stand up for yourself. So I think a few days later, something happened. I woke up and my back hurt so bad. It was the worst pain I ever felt in my life, and I was like screaming, crying. I was in so much pain. I had no idea what was going on. And so I called him, and I was hysterical, and I was like, I need to go to the hospital. Like, can you please come home? And he said, I'm about to start a tattoo. I'm not leaving. So that was my punishment. I was on the floor screaming, crying. But because I stood up for myself a few nights prior and went out with a friend, I was being left to suffer. So this would teach me, huh? So whatever degree of fever that I had, I got in my car and I went from Philadelphia and I drove back to New Jersey. I knew that I needed to be back with my family, because what do? They separate you from your family. They separate you from everyone you love. They talk shit about your family. They try to convince you that it's weird how close you are with your family. They do everything they can to separate you from anything that gives you strength and power. It makes you feel good about yourself. So I went home. And I was taken care of. I actually laid in a bed and people were there and cared for me. So what happened was I had such a bad kidney infection that I was probably 1 hour away from going into some sort of kidney failure. I had to be put on every medication you could think of. I had to get fluids. It was awful. And that person was ready to leave me dead on the kitchen floor to punish me because I stood up for myself. So in all the excuses we make for these people, like, think of that. Think of something like that. Like, when you're trying to get yourself out of it and you're like, I need to like really convince myself that I can do this and like I can't stay in this anymore. Think of something like that. They would rather you suffer and be in pain and die because they have no empathy. They don't care. They have no feelings. And why would somebody that has so much love and so much good to bring this world and so much good to bring a partner one day want to stay with somebody that's fucked up like that? So me going home was obviously the worst thing that I ever could have done, because then it got worse. I went back. I know that everyone that surrounded me that I knew looked at me like, who are you anymore? There was no, Alex was barely there. Like me, the funny personality, he would tell me that my sarcasm was because I hated myself. My funny sense of humor was my immaturity. He would chronically convince me that I just didn't know how to be in an adult relationship, which if you really think about it, if you're over 40 and you're dating somebody 25, there's something already a little off there. But he would like punish me and degrade me because I would get upset and get emotional about things because I was picking up on the abuse, but I couldn't understand what I was picking up on. My body knew it was off. I knew there was something wrong. And I would say, I feel like you're not being loving. I feel like you're being distant. I feel like you're withholding affection. He would tell me I was nuts and just overreacting. But then outwardly to other people would brag about me and say, oh, my girlfriend, my fiance, she's an empath and she's so gifted and she's a medium, and oh my God, it's because I made him look good. Me, like, you degrade me, but I make you look good. And that's another thing with a narcissistic sociopath. If you make them look good, they're gonna hold on to you a little bit longer. But so when they start to feel that they're losing power over you, they will pull out all the stops. So I remember I came back from being home and I went back there and things were weird. Things were really weird. And there were some really dark moments that I'm not going to talk about publicly, like really dark shit that this person did to me. And I remember I just took the ring off my finger and I just put it down. I was like, I can't do this. I was like, I cannot be in this anymore. And he fucking convinced me, like, no, you can't leave me. We have to go to couples counseling. We need to figure this out. So he fucking, as much as I knew I hated him, I knew that it was abuse. I knew that it was wrong. He roped me right back in. He pulled me right back in the second I stood up for myself like that. And I was like, he wants to go to couples counseling? Like, maybe, you know, maybe he is just fucked up. It's like, it's you forget everything that you realize about them that's so fucked up, and you're like, maybe this is gonna work out. And that night, we actually had a nice night, and I forgot all the horrible things he said to me, all the horrible things he did to me, the threats, if you tell anyone what I did to you, I'm gonna post pictures of you on the internet, like indecent pictures. Like he threatened to take every indecent photo that he had of me and post it everywhere. And I remember I just said to him, I was like, who does that make look bad? Because they really only care about their reputation. So I knew. In that, something happened, I woke myself up. I was like, ow, this is not good. This is not good. You cannot stay in this. So then I remember the day that I decided that I could no longer sit in a situation like that with somebody that just made me feel like shit all the time, and there was no love there. There was no love. It was cold and it was dead, and it was just an image for people on the internet. That's all it was. And I realized I was in that, and I realized I had all these eyes on me, and I realized that I had to stand up for the inner child, the inner teenager, the inner me that throughout my life I couldn't protect, but now I had the ability to, and I was going to. I had to wait so I had to pretend and I had to act. So you know that when you know they're gonna go to the dark place and they're about to get really aggressive and be really nasty, to protect yourself, you have to act and you have to pretend. So I remember just saying, like, I love you so much, oh my God, I couldn't live without you, this, like, you're the love of my life, I was stupid, I was wrong, this was all an act. And I waited for him to go on a work trip, and I remember he got so aggressive that I was not gonna go with him, but I knew I couldn't. I wanted to, because I didn't want to give up my life, my house, it was so scary to leave that situation and leave my life and leave the constant that I had when I had such abandonment issues, and this is somebody that never left me, even though they were doing horrible things. Doesn't that sound fucked up? I didn't want to leave somebody that didn't leave me, even though they treated me like shit, because I was used to abandonment. As I was getting in my car to go back home, he threw a $100 bill at me, and he said, I hope you know what you're doing. And I said, I just want to go home, see my dogs, like see my family for a little bit. Like, I'll see you when you get back. And he was like, okay, all right. He left, cheated on me for the 1,000th time. Somebody like emailed me right then and there. But I knew that I was out. I was done. There was still dribs and drabs and like pieces of things that there was so much of my shit still in his house. And so I had made a really beautiful connection with one of his exes that, I was the other girl. Well, I never did anything like that, but she didn't have to be nice to me because, he would use me to manipulate her and be like, she's a starseed, she's an empath, she just gets me, you don't get me. So she did not have to respond to me, but she essentially like helped save me because when I was at the end and I knew that that's what I was doing, I had to make sure it wasn't me. Like that's the one thing you need to know is it wasn't you because they do such a good job of convincing you that it was all you. So I remember the email I got back was like, no, not you. All the same stuff, like how he used me to manipulate her. And then I truly know that I made the right decision. And I was done. And so I remember I drove back out to go get my stuff out of the house. This person didn't even know that I did any of this. But I do remember he had texted me and he was like, are you wearing your ring? And I was like, I should have said, yeah, like the abused person in me with this person wanted to say, oh my God, yeah, because I was too afraid. And I just said, no. And he was like, are you fucking kidding me? I was like, no. I was like, I'm not wearing it. You do not treat me well. There's no reason for me to be wearing this. And, you feel that safety when they're at such a large distance. And then, so that was like, it was, that's how it was. I guess he got back, he saw that I moved all my stuff out, and we were approaching my 25th birthday, which is August 31st. He had been texting me every day about how he couldn't live without me. He was sending me suicidal threats. He was using spiritual verbiage to manipulate me, that our souls were bound to one another, and he was pulling everything out. For my birthday, he sent a $500 bouquet of birds of paradise to my house, which were my favorite flower, which when we were together, he got me flowers maybe like twice in the beginning. And he was doing all the things that like I had asked of him. Like he was sending me texts about how wonderful I am and the love and the bond that we had, and he should have done better and he should have known better. And it was like slowly roping me back in because, they fuck with your reality. And when you coming out of that abused state to have the strength to get out of it, like this is hard. This is not a regular breakup. This is not leaving your husband that you just don't get along with anymore. It's not leaving your angry wife. This is leaving a methodical abuser, like psychological abuser. They mess with your amygdala. They mess with your nervous system. They mess with all of it. It's not just, that they abused you, so think differently. They teach you, they rewire everything so you can't think properly. So getting roped in a little bit was really hard. The fact that he sent the flowers to my house and did all those things. But then the night that I went out with my friends, and it was actually in the passenger seat of the person who is recording and editing this video. Remember, we were out for my birthday and I was just in the passenger seat and I just started crying hysterically because we were going to Mogo after. We went out in Asbury, and then we were going to Mogo after, and then I was like, I lost my whole appetite on my birthday because he knew to text me at the right time that I had alcohol and need to ruin my whole night. And he did. He ruined my entire birthday. And I just cried and sobbed, like, I love you, baby. Like, you're the best thing that ever happened to me. And even if in this life we don't make it, we'll make it again in the next one. I'll never stop looking for you. I'll never stop searching for you. And that to somebody like me, I was just like, what, maybe I was being dramatic. Maybe I was being too sensitive. They mess with you and they're doing this on purpose. They're giving you the love bonding effect again. So it was a really, really rough few weeks with all that. And then he was doing his best to rope me back in, and then I got the email that, when you get the confirmation email that they cheated on you the day before you got engaged, that's pretty huge. Getting screenshots, of text messages of like, hey, we're moving back to Philly from North Carolina. Can't wait to hang out with you. And it's like, me and him were good. We were in a good place in that time period. So that saved my life, I think. Seeing that when things were amazing, this is the stuff that was going on. And that was my final. And I had a lot of finals. That was my, I'm getting out of this. Like, I will save us. And that was when, so the last time I ever spoke to this person, so they kept calling me on burner phones and then having employees call me, which I've gotten apologies from every single one of them over the last few years about how they were forced to stalk me and like call me and keep tabs on me and all that. I've gotten amazing apologies from like really good people that really were just like believing the stories that I was a cheater, I was this horrible person, this. So I finally pick up the phone and he was like, I need you. Like, I need you to come home. Like, can you come home? And then I was like, no. I was like, fuck you. And no, that was the second to the last time. I was like, no, go fuck yourself. And I was like really proud of myself for that. And then I had read online that when you really are like done with them, like if you expose them, then to like your friends, your family, you have to tell everybody, then that will really like keep them like, as they're creating their smear campaign about you. And at this point they have a new supply, so they're definitely already dating somebody or talking to them and talking about how crazy you were and how you're the new one that saved their life and this is this, when, you know, that whole vicious cycle was just happening. And I remember I did the best I could do that would make sure he never talked to me again. It was such unconscious protection, I cannot begin to tell you, because I knew that there was no chance of this person ever coming near me again. And I posted a picture of his ex, talking about how grateful I was for her and how she and I shared something similar. And I was grateful that she helped me get out of such a horrible situation. And boy, oh boy, did that shit blow up. It's like 600 comments deep of people that were like, I overheard him saying you cheated on him and this, and he gave you everything and all this money and all this. And I go, yeah, where in that was it me? And so I gave her this, I did this, me, fucking narcissist. So I get a call, I picked it up because I knew what was coming. And he was like, take down that picture right now. If you ever think we're gonna get back together again, you can't post stuff like that. People are watching. And I said, dude, you fucking cheated on me the day before we got engaged. And he goes, no, I didn't. I would never do that. And I go, buddy, I have fucking screenshots of everything you've ever done. I've saved everything you've ever done to me. I've documented every word you've said to me in the notes in my phone. I have screenshots of every horrible thing you've ever said to me. I said, game over, motherfucker. Don't ever contact me again. So in the long stretched out few months that it took me to leave, and it was really difficult, and I didn't know how to, and I didn't know what I was doing, and I was afraid. And, you know, this person could have crushed me. This person had, you know, they were well known in that respected world, and I was nobody. They could have said anything they wanted about me and ruined me and my reputation and everything, but I would have rather that than spend one more fucking day in an abusive relationship with a sociopath. I know my worth, and I know that no matter what I've been through, no matter what I've endured, no matter what my inner child thinks that it should have endured, I knew that I'd reached my breaking point. For me, I'm the most patient, kind, and understanding person ever. I don't put up with shit, but I am so patient, kind, tolerant, and understanding of people's like past and their backgrounds. And for me to have a breaking point, that means that it was truly that bad. So that's my story. I'm probably leaving out a lot because it was a long time ago at this point, but I still suffer CPTSD from it. I still have issues. It's something that I, you know, maybe still need to work on for a little bit longer in my life, but I did it. I left, and look at me. When you're leaving these relationships, please make sure you never put that pressure on yourself to see the good or to be like, oh, you know, good things came from it. Look at who I am now. Because you in that moment, you're not seeing any sort of good that happened to you. All you're seeing is the love of your life become a monster. So remember to be kind and patient to yourself. You are under no obligation to forgive this person in order to be free and evolve from it. There is such a process. I'm 7 years out of it, and I'm still now I'm finally at the place where I don't care about this person. I don't give a shit about this person. Me 5 years ago, I was still doing the work. I allowed every emotion I felt. I allowed when I felt hatred for this person, when I felt sorry for this person, when I felt sad for this person, when I mourned the person who I thought that they were, but they never were. I allowed myself, I had to have 2 breakups. I had to break up with the person I thought they were, and then I had to break up with the monster that they really were. So just be patient and kind with yourself, and you could do it. If I could do it, and this is me now, I promise you can do it. So, that's what I got for you guys today. I'm gonna try to do these more. I am gonna keep talking about the things that I have been talking about on Instagram, which is, you know, the spectrums of anger and worry and this, but in your healing too, you know, remember, like if you look at my first sociopath video, look at how insecure I am. I'm wearing the white shirt. It says born a bad seed. Look at how insecure I'm speaking, how insecure I am. But I knew I had to fight for other people that went through the same thing that I did. So when I made the empath video, the first video I made, I was fighting for the young people that felt like they were fucking crazy their whole lives, even as insecure as I was and as scared as I was, because I've always been that person. I've been a protector and a defender of people because I was bullied. I did not have a good upbringing. My mother never wanted me. I had a horrible fucking life until I made something beautiful out of it. And then, even in the worst pain of my life, the worst fucking psychological damage of my life, I made a video trying to help protect and defend people. So even if you're not necessarily doing it for you at this point, do it for others. Do it for you for tomorrow. Do it for your children. Do it for the people that you want to inspire and help. Find ways, if you're not going to live for yourself, live for what you could do for others. Have an amazing day.